Hi everyone, today we're going to do a quick introduction into Primal Pictures. Primal Pictures is a virtual dissection software. Through the York Library, you all have free access to it. So to access it, on or off campus, you'll go to the York Library website, so library.yorku.ca/web, search for Primal Pictures. And the first thing that pops up will be it. So it's Primal Pictures anatomy.tv. And you're going to choose View Full Text. Log in with your Passport York. I'm already logged in, that's why I didn't show the login. And this is Primal Pictures. You'll notice that there are a lot of options on the left-hand side here. The one that we will be focusing on is 3D real-time, but I certainly encourage you to explore the others. Functional anatomy is a fun one because you can watch specific motions and which muscles are involved. Anatomy and physiology is very helpful, especially if you're also taking physiology. They have a lot of really helpful things to walk you through the anatomy and physiology combined in each system. Imaging and clinical specialties is certainly helpful if you are looking at, maybe you're doing a research project or you're working on some kind of clinical application in class. Those are certainly useful. And the same for therapy, okay? So we're gonna focus on 3D real-time because that's what we'll be using, as I mentioned. There are some language options if that's applicable to you. So let's just open one up. When you click on it, it'll open in a separate window. If you have any problems with this window opening, you may have to make sure that you are enabling pop-ups because that can sometimes stop it from opening. And it's a pretty big program, so it takes a few minutes to load. Okay. So we're in. We selected the back or spine, I can't remember what it was called now. So the body region you selected is what will pop up. On the left here, you have several options that I encourage you to explore. The ones that you'll use the most are this rectangle, oh maybe it's a square, and the T, which is for text. So when you go to the square, this is going to give you all of the different views you can choose from. So we want to look at all of the muscles of the back. So we're going to choose this one and then just click it to make it go away. So there are a few things that you can do here. Once you have the image that you like, you'll now be looking at the bottom panel and the right side panel for more control. When you click on a structure, you can see just by hovering it that I get the name. It'll also go up here in this panel, and depending on the structure, you will get an option to have the computer read the name
Trapezius,
so that you can see what it sounds like. If we want to get rid of some things, we can use this bottom bar. So hide. If we want to hide multiple things or select multiple things, we can go click, 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 and hide them all, or we bring them back. There we go. Let's do latissimus dorsi, and I'll show you a few other things we can do. So context takes away all of the nerves and arteries and other things and just gives you a nice view of where your structure sits relative to nearby structures. So we'll come out of that. Inspect lets you look at the structure all by itself. Okay. Examine makes everything else see-through. Now I haven't shown you this yet, but if you want to turn the structures, you just grab it with your mouse or your finger if you're on a tablet and turn it. Okay. If you want to make it straighten up again, you just click on this box in the top left corner. All right. If we want to, the appearance we looked at under examine, that's called ghost, okay, the sort of x-ray looking thing. So if we want to ghost a specific structure, we just choose it and click ghost, and then it's gone, okay? And then if we want it solid, we bring it back. Hide we already did. Home just takes us back to the view where we can see the entire picture. This allows you to toggle between selecting just one item or multiple, and clear takes away everything, okay? And then you have to go back on the left and put your picture back. All right, so on the right-hand side, you have options for what you want to look at in the picture, okay? So for example, maybe I don't want all the arteries in there. Here, let's turn this guy around so we can actually see some arteries. There we go. But maybe I don't want the arteries, so they're gone. Veins too, and there's a lot of green in this picture. Let's get it out of there, and we'll just take the lymph away, okay? And if you want those things back, you just go back and click on them. Or if you only want a couple of them, like maybe we just want the arch of the aorta, then we just bring that back, okay? Let's bring them all back. Now, you may be curious what your lab tests are going to look like. So in any of the anatomy courses, the type of question we might ask, here, let's get rid of these. Okay, so this is a good one. So let's say that I'm gonna ask you a question about serratus anterior. So when you're going through your lab assignments, what I certainly encourage you to do is to get a view of each structure in a few different ways. So for example, if we're looking at serratus anterior, oh gosh, there we go. I want to see it on a lateral view, anterior view, posterior view, but I also want to make sure that I see all of the structures around it, okay? Because when we ask you a question on a test, it may look like this. So we might do something like this, okay? So I'll point an arrow like that, and then we would have an image like this on Moodle in a test question, and you would be asked to identify the structure indicated by the red arrow, and you would type serratus anterior. However, let's erase that. I want you to keep in mind that we may ask you a question where it's more like this, okay? So now we've put latissimus dorsi back on, as well as the fascia, and maybe I'll have it like this, okay? And now I'll point a red arrow. So when you're doing your lab, I want you to make sure that you have all the muscles on, and just take them off layer by layer so that you know what each structure looks like at all levels, okay? And so that you understand the relationship of that structure to the structures around it, okay? Because that's very important. So I encourage you to do that. And as you watch the lab videos, you'll see that we try and do that as well, especially in the beginning couple of labs to guide you through. Okay, I think that's it for us today. This is just a basic introduction to Primal Pictures. If you run into any issues while you're going, I encourage you to go to our Moodle page to check out the help and tutorials related to Primal Pictures. And hopefully you have a little bit of fun with it.